Hey friends, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel, and in this video I want to talk about the ongoing feud within Motley Crue, basically between Mick Mars and the rest of the band. Mick is of course the longtime guitarist for Motley Crue, and he recently retired and was replaced by John Five, who seems to be doing a great job. But since Mick's retirement, of course, they have had some financial disagreements, and now there are lawsuits going on, and just recently Mick has really shared quite a bit of dirt about the band having to do with using backing tracks and that kind of stuff. So this is unfortunately getting pretty ugly and is probably making everybody wish that the band had stuck to their earlier retirement plans from a few years ago. But anyway, I've got some information up here, one or two articles that we can look at. I'm going to share all the details with you guys, and as usual, I'm going to have links to these original articles down in the video description below. But real quick, guys, if you enjoy videos like this, checking out cool new guitars, and also staying up on all the latest news in the guitar universe, and you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing right now. Okay, first I want to take you over to this article here. This is on Guitar World on their website. And here's the headline. Let's go over this. This has a lot of really juicy information in here, especially about the alleged use of backing tracks and that kind of stuff. So it says, Mick Mars sues Motley Crue, accusing band of conspiring to fire him, miming on stage. There's Mick there. One-time Motley Crue electric guitar player Mick Mars has filed a lawsuit against his former band, Variety reports. Mars, a co-founding member of the band, announced his retirement from touring with the group last October following the conclusion of their 2022 North American Stadium Tour with Def Leppard, Poison, and Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. At the time, Mars maintained that he would remain a member of the band, with John Five taking his place on the road. He goes on here. In his lawsuit, though, filed, according to Variety, through his attorney, Edwin McPherson, in Los Angeles County Superior Court on April 6th, Mars says that after his announcement, the band moved to remove him as a significant stakeholder in Crue's corporation and business holdings via a shareholders meeting. Mars, the lawsuit says, was asked to sign a severance agreement that would divest him of his 25% stake in the band's various business interests in return for a 5% stake in the band's 2023 tour. This stake, the lawsuit alleges, would be reduced to zero for future tours. According to the legal filing, Crue's management later upped the offer from 5% to 7.5% in the band's 2023 tour, which would remain contingent on Mars divesting himself from the band and their businesses. When Mars refused to sign the papers, the band took him to arbitration in an effort, the lawsuit alleges, to keep the dispute private. Well, that didn't work out. The guitarist also accused the band's long-tenured bass guitar player, Nikki Sixx, of gaslighting him. During much of the band's recent tenure, Sixx continually gaslighted Mars by telling him that he had some sort of cognitive dysfunction and that his guitar playing was subpar, claiming that Mars forgot chords and sometimes started playing the wrong songs. In return, Mars' suit contends that Sixx, quote, did not play a single note on bass during the entire 2022 North American tour, and additionally, that a significant portion of Vince Neil's vocals and some of Tommy Lee's drum parts were pre-recorded. Mars has spent decades battling ankylosis spondylosis, I don't know how to say that, a painful degenerative disease that affects the spine, an affliction that ultimately led to the guitarist's decision to retire from touring. While the lawsuit acknowledges that Mars made occasional mistakes on the band's 2022 tour, it chalks these up to faulty in-ear monitors. Mars has ultimately asked to be awarded attorney's fees and other costs associated with the lawsuit, and to inspect the band's business records. According to Variety, the suit does not involve any requests for damages. Okay, so there's a lot in there, and obviously, you know, there's that sort of dirt on the band in there. What does it say? It says, Nikki Sixx did not play a single note on bass during the entire tour, and that a significant portion of Vince Neil's vocals and some of Tommy Lee's drum parts were pre-recorded. So he's saying the bass was all pre-recorded, a lot of the vocals and a little bit of the drums. I mean, obviously, pop artists and stuff, they use pre-recorded tracks all the time. Sometimes the entire show, right, is pre-recorded. But a rock band, a heavy metal band, I mean, you're supposed to be seeing somewhat of a genuine performance. That's always the idea. Now, there's a few things I want to talk about here, but one big standout thing to me is I have a hard time understanding why someone would criticize Mick Mars' guitar playing when Vince Neil, his vocals, I mean, Vince Neil is famous for sounding bad. So if somebody in the band is going to be criticized for the performance, Mick Mars would not be the first choice. Now, the other thing in here that's pretty disheartening, I mean, there's a couple things, but one thing is they want to divest him of his 25% stake in the band. Yeah, I mean, Mick Mars has been such an important part of the band over the years. In fact, I believe he came up with the name Motley Crue. I cannot imagine taking somebody just after not being in the band for one tour and saying, okay, this 25%, this quarter of the band, it's a four-piece band, this quarter of the band that you owned, now you don't have that anymore after decades of being in the band. That doesn't seem fair at all. Now, I want to point out that a lot of the information in here, these accusations, these are alleged, right? I mean, some of this could be wrong, some of it could be completely made up, and maybe we won't know until later what the actual hard facts are. But a lot of this stuff is very disheartening. Just the fact that an edgy, awesome heavy metal band with looks that kill has a corporate shareholders meeting. I mean, that kind of a major buzzkill for a lot of people, I'm sure. Okay, so there's a second article I want to go over here. This is over on guitar.com. And some of this is a little bit repetitive. I'll try to skip over the stuff that is, but there's some more information in here that was not mentioned in the other article. So here's the headline. Mick Mars addresses Motley Crue lawsuit. I carried those bastards for years. And there they are right there. Mick Mars has spoken up about his ongoing lawsuit against Motley Crue and his experience, quote, carrying those bastards for years. The guitarist, who retired from touring last year due to his ongoing battle with AS, has recently sued the band for allegedly cutting him out of profits and kicking him out against his will. Those guys have been hammering on me since '87, trying to replace me. Now, it's interesting to note, remember, his medical condition that he's dealing with, he's had that forever, right? And, you've always been hearing rumors like, oh, Mick Mars, he's having health problems. We were hearing that 20 years ago. I mean, it clearly didn't stop him from performing for decades, right? Anyway, he's saying since '87, they've been trying to replace me. Quote, they haven't been able to do that because I'm the guitar player. I helped form this band. It's my name. I came up with Motley Crue. My ideas, my money that I had from a backer to start this band, it wouldn't have gone anywhere. He's saying the band wouldn't have gone anywhere without him. The thing they keep pushing for many years is that I have a bad memory, Mars said, and that's full-blown, out-of-proportion crap. The truth is, this is all him talking, the truth is I want to retire from touring because of my AS, his medical condition, Mars explained. I don't have a problem remembering the songs. I don't have a problem with any of that stuff, but I do have a problem with them constantly, the whole time, telling me that I lost my memory, right? That other article he was talking about, how they've been gaslighting him, Nikki Sixx in particular. No, wrong. That's wrong, absolutely wrong. He was asked about the severance package Motley Crue had allegedly offered him per legal papers, 25% being reduced to 5% down to 0% thereafter. Mars replied that the offer was, quote, an insult, saying, no, it's my name, it's Mick Mars, it's Motley Crue. The four of us that made the band. You would have had a good reason to be fired, I don't. It just makes me really upset that they want to try and bully me more or less out of the band. So it's the last man standing that collects everything. Now, at the end here, they've got a little bit of a response from the other guys, right, or from the attorney. In response to Mick's lawsuit, Sasha Frid, Motley Crue's litigation attorney, stated, quote, after the last tour, Mick publicly resigned from Motley Crue. Despite the fact that the band did not owe Mick anything, and with Mick owing the band millions in advances that he did not pay back, the band offered Mick a generous compensation package to honor his career with the band. Manipulated by his manager and lawyer, Mick refused and chose to file this ugly public lawsuit. Well, so they are saying that he owed the band a bunch of money in advances. Maybe we can get more information on that. There's not any more information in this article here, but clearly each side of this argument has very different ideas about what the other side is trying to do. Now, one thing here that I think we can discredit right off the top, the attorney is saying after the last tour, Mick publicly resigned from Motley Crue. That's not true. He resigned from touring, and he was very specifically saying that he was going to remain a member of the band and be involved in the band. He just wasn't going to tour anymore. So I'm not sure why the attorney is saying that here. Anyway, guys, this is really ugly stuff. At the end of the day, the thing that bothers me the most is that I would hate for Motley Crue to kind of go out on a note like this, infighting and lawsuits and this kind of stuff. Because, as you probably know, a few years back, the band retired, and then, they did all this stuff with, like, they signed a contract at a public press conference and this kind of stuff, that they weren't going to perform as Motley Crue anymore. And a few years go by, and they are performing again. I mean, Kiss has done that like 5 times, right? So, on one hand, I think they probably should have stayed retired, and on the other hand, I mean, I would hate for the legacy of Motley Crue, all these great albums, all these great songs, these great concerts down through the decades, and then to have this be their last gasp, right? Be just fighting amongst themselves and only making headlines because of these lawsuits. That sucks. So I hope that they can resolve these issues and if not be friends, at least tolerate each other, maybe do a few more final concerts and go out with a bang. But guys, let me know what you think about this down in the comments section below. Really interesting stuff. So again, I'm going to have links to the original articles down in the video description below, and I will have all of my social media and all that other fun stuff down there. Thanks a ton for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you very soon.